Good. Congratulations on House on Eden. I'm a found footage psycho. I have a Blair Witch Project tattoo. So like this is very much like in my wheelhouse. So very excited. And I'm also big fans of all of y'all. So I wanted to hear first, Kris, since you wrote and directed,
Yeah.
and but this is all project. How did this kind of start? Where did the nugget come from? I know you guys have done paranormal investigations before online, so why take
Yep.
it to the feature film sphere with this?
Yeah, well, we've always talked about it every time we make the paranormal videos. We like to make it as cinematic as possible. So we kind of always talked about like we should just make a movie one day, and obviously a horror movie because we're all huge horror fans. So we always had that thought process, probably like for the past 3 years. And then there was
Uh,
like one manic writing night or more like voice memo night where I just sent voice memos to Jay and Celina at some point, and I was just like, let's just do this, and the it'll open on a I don't want to give stuff away, I guess, but it'll open on this, and then the movie will end like this, and then let's make the middle look like this. So it kind of just stemmed from the idea, and then me just having a little manic voice memo night.
Hell yeah, that's how all good movies start, though, I feel like. Manic voice
Totally.
memos or like note apps, and you're like, here,
Yeah.
decipher the insanity. Thank you
Exactly.
very much. Um,
Exactly.
so where did you find the house on Eden specifically? Because I'm obsessed with that house and like the way it's dressed. And so how did you find it?
Celina, that's you.
Yes, so I'm actually from Canada. I'm outside Toronto, and there's this tiny little town called Tillsonburg. And I have a friend who I had a friend who owned a bed and breakfast. So the house is actually the House of Seven Gables. And it was really incredible because it really fit kind of what Chris saw for the movie. I went in, and the way it was decorated is pretty much how it was, other than a bunch of, little Easter eggs and some spooky stuff that we added. But it is a functional bed and breakfast.
Wait, that's so cool. And also like kind of nice. You could just walk in and not do anything to the set and just be like, sick, no production design. Like we're good to go for the
Yeah.
most
Just
part.
adding,
Like
we
that's
added,
so
yeah, added some pictures, added some props, but like it had
Like,
the vibe, which was great.
yeah, it was awesome.
hell yeah. And Jay, what was your experience with found footage? Like from like a cinematographer perspective? Like what was that experience like for you figuring that out with all the cameras and how to make the vibe of the film?
I mean, I gotta give credit to Adam as well. I mean, Selena's
Yeah.
husband, because Adam, like, I'm very comfortable holding a camera. I mean, this is like a bad example of like, I swear I know how to operate a camera. What meanwhile,
Yeah.
like, but no, like Adam was such a helpful hand in the sense of like, oh, Jay, bump up the
Oh, sick.
ISO to do this to make sense with the lighting back there. It's all natural lighting and stuff. So we just played with what we had. So I have to really give credit to Adam in helping that sense of like the technical aspect of it.
Oh,
But
hell
when it
yeah,
comes to like
cool.
holding the camera and doing the thing, I mean, Chris and Selena, they're super comfortable holding the camera too, even when we go ghost hunting and stuff. Like they usually do that. So it was like there would just be times when like Chris is like, oh, we want to do this type of shot. So then we would, work like I don't want to give anything away, but that last awesome shot. So like we would just like kind of like figure out like, okay, let's have this here, and then once again Adam would come in like, all right, we got to bump the ISO because that was a real fire that was happening. That was insanely
Yeah.
like bright. So like Adam was just like, all right, bump the ISO to this. We're all walkie talkies like because he was by the phone.
Yeah.
I was by the things. That was fun.
You're in a time crunch.
Yeah.
Cool. Fuck, that's so cool. This is a very silly question, but I do have to know, Selena, is the shitting shed a real thing that you owned before this? Was that
Oh,
like a real thing?
that's been around forever. That's like 2022 TikTok. I have no gallbladder, which means it's
Oh
straight from my
no.
throat to my butthole. So
Oh, yeah,
I
man.
take a thunder bucket with me everywhere I go.
Yeah, that was like there's been plenty of road trip where that comes out. So I was like, we need to put that in the movie.
Absolutely.
That's that's so
I used
cool
to
though
keep it
to
in
get
my
to put all that
Bronco. It'd be
stuff.
like, get your shit and check out the Bronco.
But I think
I
I
love
love
that
that because
thing.
like I followed you guys on TikTok and to see like how you integrate your actual personalities, like how you actually and you guys are also friends, and I love how that
Yeah.
shines through. Did that ever feel like a challenge, or was that just like the easiest part of this whole thing, was just like being yourselves and being goofballs on camera before things get, terrible?
Yeah, the first half of the movie was pretty I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was definitely more organic. And then like, we start or I specifically start turning into someone that's not very much me. So that was probably the hardest part, but it was uh
Mm.
it was all written in beats. There was no strict script, so improving with each other is something we've always done anyway. So it made it easier for sure.
Hell yeah. And so did
Yeah.
you actually use like you used an old camcorder, right? And like you got to play with that and you
Yeah.
that's what was the hardest part about using the
Somewhere.
camcorder? I am curious.
It was
Or
a
were there
little
any hard
finicky.
parts?
It
Finicky?
was a
Okay.
little finicky because so yeah, it actually worked out because in the movie the light goes out on it a lot and it actually did go out on it a lot. That's actually it was kind of during that where it happened the first time when I was like looking at one of the pictures that I won't mention, but it happened on like by on its own and I was like, "Oh, we need to play that into the movie and we could actually work with that." So it wasn't a piece of shit, but it was kind of a piece of shit, so it kind of worked out.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, it
Love
was good.
that.
So I was able to like act as the camera was malfunctioning half the time. So
Oh,
I've had this thing since like fifth grade. So
yeah,
oh,
there it
this
a
is.
is it.
relic.
Yeah,
Wow. Wait, oh,
In
and you
fifth
use
grade.
that? Wow, that's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah. We
Oh,
refused to
that's
do filters. We were like, no, we're just going to actually use, and we used what
Super
was
8.
it, the Super 8
Yeah.
as well
Because
with
I
the no
keep seeing
sound.
comments of people being like, "Oh man, throwing like filters on." No, absolutely not. I would not let that happen. So there's a
Yeah.
real that Super 8's. It's right there, hanging on the shelf that we used in the movie. That's real
Mm-hmm.
film,
Mm-hmm.
and then
cool.
yeah, real high eight camera.
Yeah.
That's so cool though, because I do feel like Nick, no shame to people, but there are a lot of filters being used, and you can
Yeah.
tell. And I love that you guys really went for the authentic. Like, no, no, we're getting all the cameras of every era, and we're going to shoot
Yeah.
on all of them. And it felt very Blair Witch Project to me. I don't know if that was the point,
Good.
but like it
Oh,
reminded me of the
totally.
Blair Witch when like they have the high when they have the like 16 millimeter out, and it's cool to see like you switch between those formats. And was
Yeah.
that always the intention was to kind of have that vibe throughout?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, the whole movie was kind of just a nod to a lot of my favorite movies. One of them obviously being Blair Witch. I was like, I miss that vibe. We haven't had that vibe in so long. So that and like Creep and
Hell yeah.
uh yeah, like and then with some aspects of the plot, like Hereditary and just a lot of my favorite movies. So it was yeah, it was fun. It was just a big ode to
Oh,
those.
oh, what a oh, hell
Chris,
yeah.
speak of the devil.
Oh, there you go. And like The Witch too. Like those are like the main ones that it was kind of like I want a little bit of an aspect of all these in this
Hell
movie.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what was it like working on a feature, Celina and Kris? Like especially because Jason, I know you've worked on features
Mhm.
before, but for y'all, what was that like? I know you do a lot of YouTube videos, which is still long
Yeah.
form content and not just TikTok, but what was it like kind of going into this world of building out a whole world into a feature film? Like what was that experience like for y'all as creatives? It's got to be so cool to
Yeah.
see yourselves
Yeah.
evolve as creatives that way too.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. I was just like, let's just go all in. And I think having such a small team for the film kind of made it nicer, a nicer experience. And we filmed the thing in not a lot of time either, so that kind of reminisced with what we do with YouTube as well. But and this way we could like kind of map it all out. We could be like, oh, there's actually going to be, this here and this here. We're not just sitting around waiting for 3 hours for something to happen, like those other things. So it's kind of nice to just be able to write our own story. And Celina's, I mean, obviously an avid writer. She's written like
Yeah.
a million books. So, but yeah, no, I,
Hell
I,
yeah.
I think it was a really natural transition, especially going into found footage, not necessarily, just a traditional
Yeah.
movie. It was reminiscent of that. But yeah, Celina, go ahead.
No, it was incredible. We just wanted to do the thing. I think, like it was one of those things we wanted to dip our toes and try it out, but I feel like it was pretty smooth. And especially just because we all know each other so well and stuff. So we were able to just like go well together.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be just like badass to make stuff with your friends, which you guys already do,
Yeah.
obviously, but to just do even more creative content like that and like creative films, and that's neat. Before we wrap up though, I do have to know, did you have any spooky experiences on set that felt like there was something else going on set?
Well, it's funny because that place that we were at, the Seven Gables, was actually a haunted bed and breakfast as
Hmm.
well, which was kind of added to it. But nothing crazy happened on set. There was like some bumps and knocks
Just
and
sound.
stuff upstairs when we were
Okay.
downstairs. And that actually played into the movie too. We were sitting around one of the round tables filming a scene, and there was a knock upstairs, and I like looked up, and that's in the movie. And I actually was like, what the fuck is that? And then we all just played off of it. So I don't know.
Just whip the
That's
Right.
camera, and
me.
then like the best improv line ever was "Something's up with this house, and we need to figure it out."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Literally, that's how it all played in. That all
I was
played
like
in. That was
being,
perfect improv. Like, just
yeah.
it was so good. You guys
That's
played right into it.
that's that's so cool. And also that improv is hard. I mean, like I know people like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Improving is hard as shit to make it like feel natural. So that's so like
Yeah.
it's amazing that y'all were able to do that and work together and do that. That's like so congratulations on the film.
Thank
It's so
you.
cool.
Thank you.
But thank you all so much for chatting with me. Congratulations. I'm stoked. It's got that like old school found footage vibe, which I've been craving. So I'm
Awesome.
so stoked for people to check this out.
Thank
Hell
Thank
you.
you
yeah.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.